All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Sebring. Nick Sorensen, David Gallant have the front row. Yannick Gunther and Mike Dolling on the second. Andrew Lau, Ellis Johnson on the third row. Simon Zierk, Roman Berg on the fourth. Christian Orr and Barry Wehrman round out the top 10. Jason Leonard starting in 11th next to Mike Marshall in 12th. Bradley Lovings in 13th. Wessel Stevens back in 14th. Harry Volsmere in 15th. Jordan Butler rounding out the 16-car field here this morning. All the drivers getting stacked up on the grid. Last minute adjustments going into the cars, the ones who haven't got out yet. It is Sebring, 3.6 miles around this track and 17 turns. It is getting later in the day. The track temp is coming down, now down to 106. That's actually down 15 degrees from what they practiced in. We're likely to see sub 2-minute lap times in race 1. Likely race 2 will be even faster. And it looks like the drivers are rolling. Sorensen. Oh, sorry. David Gallant trying to get a head start. But we know how these Ford drivers are. They need some kind of an advantage. It was sad to see Nick Sorensen go into the dark side this morning and getting in the Ford. I do believe this is his first time in the Mustang. Rudolph, he likely will, buddy. He will likely regret that choice very soon. Sadly, only one Porsche in the field today with only one member of Team Gunther on track. Yannick starting back there in fourth. One Aston Martin, several Ferraris, well, 2 Ferraris this morning, 2 Mercedes, and 3 BMWs. The track temperature right now is still about 15 degrees higher than what the officials were. Most of these drivers drove in the officials this week at much cooler track temperatures. Race 2 likely to be in those cooler track temps. Maybe closer to what they practiced in, but this first race is definitely going to be an interesting one. A lot of the drivers said they weren't going to bother. We're seeing a little bit of tire warming here, but not a whole lot with these higher track temps. All right, down the long straightaway towards Sunset. The pace car will drop in coming out of Sunset. As soon as it hits pit road, Nick Sorensen can go anytime after that. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, make sure to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. All right, pace car is in. Sorensen in control. And here they come. The green flag flies. They are away. And holy cow, 4 wide back behind. This is going to be an interesting turn 1. So far, everybody survives, but a lot of them miss in the grass. Wow. Well, that was definitely an interesting start. We may have to go back here in a minute, take a look at that from the blimp. But Jordan Butler is on the attack. Jordan, who started in 16th, is up to 6th. Lightning McQueen already on fire today. Harry Volsmere also picked up a lot of ground on the start. He is up 6 spots into 9th, as Ellis Johnson and Bradley Lovings have had a problem back behind. We'll take a look here in a moment. Yannick Gunther still holding on to 3rd, but 4 of the top 5 are the Mustangs. Mike Dolling's McLaren in 5th. Christian Noor and Roman Berg have had some problems behind. Into Sunset for the first time. Gallant on the attack to the inside. Sorensen side by side. It's a drag race to the line, and at the line it was Gallant. Barely. Sorensen actually nosed ahead just past the start-finish line. Two Mustangs side by side. What could possibly go wrong there? And still side by side, neither driver given an inch. Yannick right behind, just waiting for an opening. Now Andrew Lau up into the mix. Yannick able to capitalize. And Yannick shoots by to take 2nd. And let's take a look at those lap 1 incidents. All right, Ellis Johnson had some problems here early on. Ellis swings wide into the dirt, but recovers it. Did lose some ground. Bradley Lovings in the other Lambo. Looks like may have had the sand. No, Bradley's back in. Steps out on him. He did recover and keep going. Roman Berg also had a bit of an off. Just a bit outside on that. Let's see what happened with Christian Orr. Chris looks incredibly slow coming into that turn. then shoots wide. Definitely an eventful start to this one. Rudolph Gunther is always cheering on Yannick, who's now up into second place. Wessel Stevens set the fastest lap last time by. He is already up 5 spots into 9th. And let's see if we can get a look at that start. All right, looking down from the blimp, focusing on Jordan Butler at the moment. There you see the moment everybody fires, and already 4 wide. And look at Butler just cutting his way through the field. He ends up in the middle of 4 wide, but coming out of turn 1, whoop, he had a blinky problem. Definitely an amazing start to this race. Surprised to see as many people as we did go 4 wide that quickly. David Gallant still holds the lead. Yannick Gunther in second, has Sorensen looking to the inside into turn 1. And Sorensen reclaims second for the moment. Yannick now in third, Lau in fourth, and Mike Dalling, and he is able to drive much deeper into the turn in the McLaren. Almost gave Lau a little bit of a bump. Ellis Johnson still holds on to 6th, Simon Zierk in 7th. Jordan Butler now up into 8th. Wessel Stevens currently running in 9th. But battling here, and Harry's in the battle as well. Harry currently in 10th, but he is on the attack. Barry Wehrman now into 11th. Bradley Lovings in 12th. A good comeback so far for Bradley after that lap 1 incident. Mike Marshall now into 13th. Jason Leonard 14th. Christian Orr in 15th. And Roman Berg in 16th after their early setbacks. Gallant starting to pull away, opening up just a little bit of a gap on Sorensen. But from second on back, everybody pretty much nose to tail back to 5th. Ellis Johnson, whoa! And some of these guys coming out of Sunset are cutting it really close to that wall. Before the day is out, I guarantee you somebody is smacking that wall. Wessel Stevens has now moved up into 8th, moving Butler back into 9th. Harry still holds on in 10th. Now we'll be keeping an eye on the track temp. Right now it's holding where they started, but we expect race 2 to be substantially cooler. In fact, in talking to the drivers, going into race 2, being a longer race, sometimes they will change tires With the hot track this morning, it was questionable due to the fact that a lot of the guys said on a long run on old tires, the track felt like driving on ice. However, track temp during practice was 20 degrees higher than it is right now. Mike Dalling currently in 5th. Ellis Johnson holds on to 6th, but Simon Zierk and Wessel Stevens right there. Whoa, what's going on back behind? Jordan Butler and Harry Volsmere really battling. Jordan's going to attack back to the inside out of Sunset. Doesn't have the run. He's going to stay in the slipstream. But it looked like Jordan practically ran Harry into the wall. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Had Jordan trying to defend, Harry was not given an inch, and it paid off. Wow. That was one heck of a defensive move. Gallant still has the lead, but Sorensen just set the fastest lap and is closing in. Yannick Gunther, despite the Porsche being slow in straight line speed, is able to stay in the slipstream and stay with them. Andrew Lau now up into 4th right there as well, and it appears Doling may be closing in. Whoa! Yannick is way wide. It opens the door. Andrew Lau now has a run. Andrew Lau now into 3rd. Yannick's got some work to do, and Mike Doling closing in. Jordan Butler picked up a slowdown a moment ago. He is just shaking it off, but he has lost touch with Harry. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens now up into, whoa! Wessel a little wide there. Wessel now into 7th. Trying to close back up on Simon Zier. Rudolph, yes, the top 3 are Fords, which means at any moment, all 3 of them will spontaneously combust. Christian Norris had a problem back behind. There's Chris. A bit below. He got wicked loose, hit both tire walls. He did manage to get the car rolling again, though. The track safety workers have recommended all the fans step further back with 3 Mustangs up front. Hey, good morning, Cam. And here we go, the attack for the lead. Sorensen to the inside. They are banging doors and opening. Oh, that got close. Lau almost got a run while these two were banging doors. And they get together. They're sideways. All three Fords involved. Yannick Gunther takes the lead. That got spicy. Let's see. All right, let's watch this unfold from the blimp. There you see Sorensen cuts to the inside and they're banging doors. Lau has an opening. Couldn't quite get there. They head off into turn one. Sorensen sends it deep. Gets into a Gallant. Lau goes wide to avoid. And everybody else slips underneath. Count, can I come for dinner? Top three completely changed now. Yannick Gunther, Mike Dolling, David Gallant. Gallant able to recover up to third, Lau in fourth, and Sorensen slipping back to sixth. A bit of a shakeup here in the top three with just 3 minutes left to go. I appreciate it, buddy. David Gallant in third is reeling him in. Lau staying right there with him. Sorensen battling with Simon Zierk. Ellis Johnson is right there. Harry Volsmeer's closing in. Wessel Stevens has lost a lot of ground. He had a problem a moment ago. All right, there is Wessel coming out. Oh! Coming out on the backstretch is too much power, noses it in, and a close call for Harry. Worth reminding everybody, race 2, the top 7 from this race will invert. So as of right now, Yannick will start race 2 in 7th. And based on what we have seen early in this race, things may get even more chaotic. Should see Barney waving the white flag this time. Yes, he is. One more time around for Yannick. David Gallant did just set the fastest lap, still sitting in third, closing the gap on Dolling. But Gallant may have a hard time getting past the Minister of Defense on the final lap. Oh, Gallant sent it in, but didn't have the position. Sounds good. DeLon continuing to try and set up. It is allowed Lau to get closer. Simon Zierk has been able to hold Sorensen off. And Yannick does have a little breathing room, about 1.2 seconds. Onto the back straightaway, the final time. And Yannick is pulling away as they head towards sunset. Into sunset for the final time, and Yannick Gunther will get it done. Yannick wins race 1. Mike Dalling holds on to second, barely. And let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with David Gallon.
Fucking race.
Hey, David. Congratulations on coming home in third, buddy.
Yeah. Real happy.
I bet that got a little exciting at one point. Fortunately, when there were 3 Fords in the top 3, we told all the fans to step back.
Yeah, let's look at the replay.
Oh, man, a heck of a run and a nice recovery, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Apparently, we caught Galon in a moment. Let's get a word with Mike Dolan. Mike, you held on and came home in second, and you had to use some of your Minister of Defense skills on that last lap.
Woo! Yeah, that was a lot of fun, that race. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. It was close, and then I saw the 3 Fords getting into it, and I was like, and then it all hell broke loose, and I just tried just to stay with Yannick, and it paid off. I'll tell you, happy with that. Real happy. You
have to be happy just to not get caught up in the Ford mess, because you know it's going to happen when there are 3 Fords together.
Exactly. Oh, what a good race! I tell you, it must have been good. Must have been good from a viewing perspective as well.
It definitely was. That start was amazing, but who knew how this whole thing would play out? But man,
exactly.
A great finish and a heck of a run for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug. Cheers.
And finally, let's get a word with our winner, Yannick Gunther. Yannick, Porsche pays off despite the lack of straight line speed, man. You managed to come home in victory lane.
Yeah, I got really lucky, but as you know, first you have to finish to get first in a race or something like that.
To finish first, you must first finish.
Correct, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't make many mistakes. The one little off track where Andrew got through, and then I got lucky and held it together, and yeah, all good.
Well, did you know as soon as you saw 3 Fords ahead of you that you would have the win?
Well, maybe you noticed I backed off a little bit, so I thought like, well, maybe they will just kill each other.
And they did. We recommended all the fans step back, too, thankfully, moments before that happened.
Yeah, it was good to see from the cockpit view because there's just chaos, and I got through. And I think Michael got through very well as well. So, yeah.
Well, Opa's cheering you on, man. Great run today.
Thanks, Doug.
Yannick Gunther gets the win in race 1. He will have to start back in 7th. I was going to try and get a quick word with Nick Sorensen, but he has turned all communication off. Alright, looks like one or two of the drivers are coming out during warm-up. Watch them. Give us just a moment. We'll be right back to talk to you. Count, it was definitely exciting. Now going into race 2, the top 7 will invert. Yannick's going to have some traffic to come through. Looks like nobody really coming out for practice. Wessel Stevens sitting on pit road. Man, this first race definitely hurt Wessel. With Adam and Rudolph not in the field, he had a huge opportunity to pick up a lot of points, but wasn't able to capitalize this morning at Sebring. Also worth noting, Nick Sorensen is still unavailable for chat. And it did sound like our third place driver was a bit unhappy. David Gallant did seem a bit frustrated. Just a few seconds left to go to race 2. Top 7 invert. And based on what we saw in race 1, I think we're in for one heck of a show. This field did not separate much at all. Rudolph, I think you're right. I think he was a little bit upset. That's likely why Sorensen stayed muted. Race 1 was wild. Race 2 about to get wilder. Buckle up. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for race 2. Ellis Johnson and Nick Sorensen have the front row. Simon Zierk, Andrew Lau in the second row. David Gallant, Mike Dolling of the third row. After winning, Yannick Gunther starting in 7th. Harry Volsmir in 8th. Jordan Butler and Brandley Lovings ran out the top 10. Wessel Stevens starting in 11th next to Mike Marshall in 12th. Barry Wehrman, Jason Leonard, 13th and 14th. Christian Orr and Roman Berg round out the field. I think you guys are right. I do think one or two of the drivers is a bit upset after race 1. And unfortunately, or fortunately, they are all very close together on the start here. So, race 2 may begin with some fireworks. First, let's take a look and see. The track temperature has dropped significantly from practice. Now down to 97-degree track temp, 84 air temp. Has about 24-degree cooler track temperatures. That is a significant change. That's going to give the drivers a lot more grip, likely a lot more confidence, which can mean a bit more aggression. Also, it's worth noting all three Mustangs in the top 5. And from the sounds of it, they're not happy with each other. And I am sorry, I'm still laughing. The whole situation in race 1 was just... as a broadcaster, sometimes you just don't have words, but man, that was an epic turn of events. And now with the invert, race 2 could have an even more epic turn of events. Now race 1, as we showed, we had they were 4 wide, 2 lanes deep before they got to turn 1, and somehow everybody survived that lap. What will be the outcome here in race 2? And we did see in race 1, especially coming out of Sunset, a lot of door banging down the front stretch. That door banging could get a bit more aggressive here. All right, folks, buckle up for this one. Ellis Johnson is in control of the start once the pace car drops in. Now in race 1, we saw the pole sitter wait for the green flag. However, Ellis can fire anytime after the Porsche hits pit road. Here they come through Sunset once again. Porsche pace car dives in. Ellis is in control now. Green flag is in the air. And it does look like 3 wide mid-pack, but no 4 wide this time. As they come through turn 1, Andrew Lau ended up doing a little off-road, and he is okay. Coming through the S's so far. Ooh, that was close. Jordan Butler and Yannick Gunther both had off tracks behind. Ellis still holding on to the lead. Nick Sorensen currently in second. David Gallant is already up to third. Harry Volsmere already up 4 spots into fourth. Simon Zierk and Yannick Gunther battling it out. Yannick pulls up. And Roman Berg is on the march, already up 7 spots into 9th. Mike Marshall having a much better race too, up 4 spots into 8th. About to find out how that Lambo straight line speed is compared to the Ford. Sorensen right on his bumper. Sorensen to the inside for the lead. Oh, contact! Ellis holds on to it. Sorensen takes the lead out of Sunset. And Nick Sorensen will lead lap 1. Let's take a look. It looks like nobody got heavily damaged, but a few larger off tracks during that first lap. Let's take a look. Now they were battling 3 wide. Jordan Butler, oh, Wessel gives him a bump. Wessel gets sideways. He manages to save it. Looking down at this mess from the blimp, Yannick barely avoids the chaos, and then everybody behind has to spread out to avoid it. Ellis Johnson has reclaimed the lead, and Andrew Lau has had a problem. He is going to pit road. There's Andrew Lau headed toward turn 1, sends it in, and the back end just steps out. He does get it woed up. A moment later, Mike Dolling had a bit of a moment. Sends it in a little too wide, goes off through the dirt. Ellis has the lead for the moment, but Sorensen back on the attack. David Gallant did just set the fastest lap as he closes in. Barry Wehrman did not start race 2, the only driver that did not take the grid. Sorensen had an off track. He is going backwards. There's Nick battling for the lead with Ellis again. Loses the back end, goes through the grass. He gets it back on track, but not before losing several spots. David Gallant has claimed the lead. Ellis now in second. Harry is in third. Yannick back up into fourth. And the top 6 sharing a slipstream down the backstretch. Top 6 split by less than 2.5 seconds at the moment. Gallant trying to break the slipstream up front. know Gallant was a bit upset after race 1. Does appear he is driving a bit angry. Mike Dalling back in 7th now has the fastest lap. Dalling on the move. He lost some ground on lap 1, has now moved back up into 7th and trying to fight his way even further forward. Wessel Stevens currently holds on to 8th. Wessel having a rough morning. Mike Marshall now in 9th with Roman Berg in 10th, right on his bumper. Rookie Bradley Loving's currently in 11th. I have no idea what is on Bradley's car. I looked at it before the race, couldn't figure it out. Oh, Harry's got a problem coming onto the backstretch. We saw 1 or 2 drivers do this in race 1. On the power too much, gets too much of the rumble strip, kissed the inside wall. Well, the start of race 2 is not disappointed. Wessel Stevens now in 7th, just set the fastest lap and is right on Mike Dalling's bumper. Roman Berg had an off track a moment ago, now has a slowdown as he goes by Mike Marshall. He did manage to clear it, but now Jordan Butler back up in the mix. Remember, Butler had that big attack in race 1, came through the field very early, lost some ground mid-race. It looks like started a little bit tamer this time and is attacking now. David Gallant has opened up a 9/10 of a second lead over Ellis. Sorensen in 3rd, still right there with Ellis, as is Yannick and Simon. And Mike Dalling just over a second behind is closing in. With Wessel, well, Wessel's gonna go for the move into Sunset. And Wessel sends it through Sunset, the back end stepping out. He manages to save it, but Dolan takes advantage, cuts back to the inside. Drag race toward turn 1. McLaren has the nose ahead, but the Mercedes powers out. Whoa! Mike throws a little body slam. Hell, they don't call him the Minister of Defense for nothing. He is making Wessel work for it here. Nick Sorensen has just moved into 2nd. And now sets his sights on David Gallant. Andrew Lau is back out on track, way behind. With Gallant and Sorensen back up front, will we see fireworks again? Yannick still sitting in 4th place, right where he was in race 1 when everything popped off, and he managed to sneak by and take the win. Rudolph, I have to agree. I think we're in for a heck of a show up front. And I reckon Ellis Johnson and Yannick Gunther, they are likely just biding their time back behind. As we mentioned, between races, Sorensen muted his mic and Whoa! Ellis almost overshot into Sorensen. He had to go wide and Yannick slips by. Simon Zierk now battling. I think he'll take 4th. Ellis slips back to 5th. Wessel now up to 6th, closing. As to the best of our knowledge, David Gallant and Nick Sorensen have not spoken since race 1 and made peace, so things could get bumpy. They are right there together as they go off into sunset. 2 different lines on entry. Sorensen really closes up. He's looking wide. Gallant shuts the door on that. Nick trying to attack to the inside. Can't quite get there. Yannick now in 3rd, making sure he has some space. Simon now in 4th, Ellis in 5th, Wessel in 6th, closing in. At the moment, Wessel is the fastest car on track. Mike Dolling in 7th. The rookie, Bradley Loving's now up into 8th. Roman Berg in 9th. Christian Noor up to 10th. Jordan Butler in 11th. Mike Marshall in 12th. That Aston has been struggling this morning. Harry Volsmere currently at 13th. Jason Leonard at 14th. Andrew Lau in 15th. Back up front, Gallant has about a 0.7 of a second lead. It does appear Sorensen is faster over the first half of this track. Gallant faster on the second. Yannick about 1.1 seconds back in 3rd. As Wessel continues to close in on Ellis. Now just 1.5 seconds back. Wessel continues to be the fastest car. Harry Volsmere, after his incident back in 13th, he is gaining ground as well. Gallant and Sorensen still out front. I did tell the drivers before the race this morning that, hey, we had the time change here in the U.S., so I was a wee bit tired. Keep it exciting this morning and keep me awake. They have not disappointed. Yannick Gunther in third, losing a little ground to the top two. Simon is closing in on him. Wessel has just about caught Ellis. These two coming down the front stretch the last couple of times, things have gotten a little dicey. Gallant definitely doing some defensive driving out front, but right now he's able to keep a small gap on Nick. Through the S's, Yannick is closing in. The Porsche obviously better in the turns. As Wessel Stevens has caught up to Ellis, he looks to the inside. He's not going to make that move. And don't worry, folks, if you missed any of the race this morning, you can find it later today on our YouTube channel. And we'll have the shorts out over the next few days. Harry and Mike Marshall have had a problem back behind as Wessel shoots by Ellis. What a move there. Ellis crosses over. Mike Dolling able to almost capitalize on that as well. Let's take a look at this incident a moment ago. All right, there is Harry in the Mercedes, not far behind Marshall. He sets up to the inside. They have contact. Mike goes around. That was a bit of a gutsy dive into there. Was obvious. Harry had a bit of a run coming up on Marshall. Wessel had a bit of an off track a moment ago and lost a lot of ground. There's Wessel battling with Ellis. Oh, he had contact with Mike. Wow, great save by Wessel. That could have been catastrophic. Back up front, Sorensen is right on the bumper of Gallant again. Here we go. These two have been back and forth since race one. And oh! Gallant goes a bit wide. He did not pick up a slowdown, but he did lose some momentum. Nick waiting to pick his moment to make the move. Gallant goes way way to the inside. He got the better run onto the back straight. And here comes Yannick. Yannick went deep into Sunset, almost to the back bumper of Sorensen. Despite the straight line speed of the Forge, Yannick is not out of this fight yet. And the more these two battle, the better position Yannick's gonna get. This is definitely an exciting battle to watch. Sorensen gets a run, and I think to some degree, Nick may just be messing with the leader. He makes a move like he's gonna attack, then doesn't. And that has allowed Yannick Gunther to close in, and it's allowing Simon to get even closer. For the moment, David Gallant, no mistakes, is keeping him behind. Although, interestingly, it does appear Gallant has a minor damage to the front of that car. Does not appear to be causing any issues. Jordan Butler has had a problem. He has gone to pit road. Well, it appears Jordan Butler was just blinking so he couldn't see the incident. But it does appear whatever happened with Jordan was significant damage. He is on pit road with a meatball. While these two battle up front, Yannick has gotten right there to him. Simon is closing in. Mike Dolling holds on to fifth, Ellis in sixth, but they have a problem. Wessel's getting closer again. Bradley Loving's back in eighth, Christian Orr in ninth, and Roman Berg currently in 10th. Harry Volsmere back in 11th. Mike Marshall in 12th. Jason Leonard in 13th. Andrew Lau in 14th. He is actually caught up to Jason. After that early pit stop, Lau lost a lot of ground, but he is trying to move forward. Back into Sunset, and every lap, both drivers take distinctly different. Whoa! Oh! Gallant is in. They are within the window for fuel. Jason Leonard has also came in. Jordan Butler is back out on track. Sorensen now has the lead. Gallant appears to be taking fuel only on this stop. It'll be a fuel-only stop for David Gallant. Christian Norris in. Now the question is, will the undercut by Gallant pay off? We know Sorensen will stretch it to the limit. Sorensen with no battle has pulled away a little bit from Yannick. Simon also slipping back a hair as well. Mike Dolling currently in fourth is closing in as Wessel Stevens is caught back up to fifth place, Ellis Johnson. Sorensen is coming in. Yannick is coming in. Simon's coming in. Dolling is going to stay out. Ellis Johnson is in. Wessel Stevens is in. Bradley Loving staying in as well. Everybody hitting their pit stalls. And I have not seen any car go up on jacks yet. Looks like it's going to be fuel only for most of the field. Harry Volsmere, Wessel Stevens also in. David Gallant comes back. Oh, Simon's on his way out. And Sorensen is back out after his stop. Sorensen currently in fourth, the highest running car that has completed their pit stops. Mike Dolling, Roman Berg, and Mike Marshall have not been in. Nick Sorensen came out in fourth, 2.3 seconds ahead of Yannick. David Gallant, another 4 seconds back, battling with Simon. Harry has had a problem. He has gone to pit road. There's Harry coming toward turn two, just misses the turn and toes it in. Mike Dolling is on pit road. Roman Berg coming in as well. Mike Marshall now headed in. And this will give the lead back to Sorensen. Sorensen's lead, 2.5 seconds over Yannick. And David Gallant, 7 seconds out of the lead. Gallant is closing in on Mike Dolling. $18 minutes left in the race. A lot can still change out here. especially with the sun going down, cloud cover on the track, and the track temperature coming way down. Track temperature now 92 degrees, giving those old tires a little bit more grip. Drivers have to be loving that. Mike Dolling in third as Gallant right on his bumper. Now Gallant is taking Sunset tight. He's setting it up for turn one, but couldn't quite get there. Meanwhile, Nick Sorensen out front is pulling away from Yannick. Further back in six, Ellis Johnson still holding on to six. Wessel Stevens up into seventh. Bradley Loving's a rookie in eighth. Roman Berg having a huge comeback this morning, up 7 spots into ninth. Mike Marshall currently running in 10th, despite the fact that Aston Martin has not been weaponized. Christian Orr holding on to 11th. Andrew Lau now in 12th. Jason Butler in 13th. Jason Leonard in 14th. Harry Volsmere is still on pit road in 15th. Nick Sorensen definitely had a good run in race one until things happened. And the three Mustangs had an incident in turn one. We saw him and Gallant fighting it out up until pit stops. And Sorensen has the quicker stop, gets back out quicker, has a big lead, almost 3 seconds now. Gallant slips back into fourth, 6.8 seconds back. Mike Dolling in third, about 3 seconds behind Yannick. He has started to gain ground, but he has a lot of pressure from David Gallant right behind. Simon has slipped about 2.5 seconds back. Ellis back in sixth. Wessel lost some ground before the pit stop, lost some ground on the pit stop. Is now 4.6 seconds back, but he is gaining. Roman Berg, though, in ninth, one of the biggest movers of the morning. It is great to see a big field again today. The NSS fields have been growing week after. David Gallon has had a problem. He is towed to pit road. Gallant was battling with Dawling, gets to the outside, loses. Holy cow, what a hit! Take a look at this from the blimp. Hopefully Gallant is okay after that. You see, oh! Dang billboard's in the way. Try one more angle at this, but David Gallant was fighting his way back into the top three. The back end just steps out. Man, what a hit. And David Gallant officially out of the race. What a heartbreaking morning for David. I was contemplating interviewing him, but after talking to him after race one, nah. Plus, he's not available to talk to at the moment, so I imagine after the morning he's had, he is not happy with the way things have turned out today. And what a heartbreak. Nick Sorensen starting to get into some lap traffic, but he has opened his gap on Yannick 2.5 seconds. Lost a little bit in lap traffic, but he's pulling away again. Mike Dawling in third, now about 3.25 seconds behind Yannick. He was gaining, but it looks like that gap is stabilized. Simon back and forth. Ellis in fifth. Wessel, whoa, a bit wide. Wessel about 3.6 seconds behind Ellis. He continues to close. Just under 10 minutes though. Will he be able to get there? Bradley Loving's now in 7th. Roman up to 8th. Mike Marshall in 9th. Christian Orr in 10th. Also, I do believe Chris is sporting a new paint scheme this morning. Kinda digging it. Nick Sorensen's lead now 3 seconds with just over 8.5 minutes to go. Surprisingly, with the cooler track temps, nobody has broken the 2-minute mark yet this morning. Looking back through the field, everybody has a little bit of space. Well, except for Ellis. Well, Wessel is really closing in. Wessel now just 1.8 seconds behind Ellis. He is closing rapidly. Bradley Loving's in his NSS debut, having a great run this morning, up 3 spots into 7th. Roman still the biggest mover. Jordan Butler has had a problem behind. Well, it looks like Jordan was a little blinky, so he couldn't see what actually happened. But he was obviously drifting coming out of the turn and drove it to pit road. Nick Sorensen set the fastest lap of the race last time by. 2 minutes, .55. And Wessel Stevens has caught Ellis Johnson. Despite the fact Wessel had a rough first race, could make up a lot of ground in the points today in this one if he can get into the top 5. Rudolph, I think you're right. I think Mike needs to crank the heat up on the track whenever a Ford is present. Oh, Wessel pokes his nose in as they come down the backstretch. Side by side as they go off into sunset. And Wessel pulls it up into the top 5. He drifts it. Wessel's around. A big drift, but he saves it. Wow. See if we can get a better angle on that. All right, there they are, side by side. Wessel sends it in deep, and the back end just starts stepping out. A big drift, but he manages to recover. What a save! Nick Sorensen's lead now almost 5 seconds over Yannick. Mike Dolling almost 5 seconds behind him. Simon about 3.5 seconds back. Ellis now safe in 5th. Wessel about 4 seconds back. I say that Wessel has come from further behind to catch him today, but I don't know if he's going to have the time. Next time by, they will get the white flag. Sorensen's lead continues to grow. Roman Berg in 8th, still the biggest mover of the morning. That stable, consistent BMW working well. But Yannick Gunther up 5 spots into 2nd place. A great morning overall after winning race 1. And from the looks of it, despite having missed several races, Yannick will actually jump up in the points. Came into this morning 10th in points, liable to jump up to 7th. Still half a season to go, so it's still anybody's championship. Anything can happen. It has been a while since a Gunther has won the championship. And Barney waves the white flag one more time around for Nick Sorensen. Yannick Gunther in 2nd, Dowling in 3rd. The Minister of Defense has really held on to that podium spot this morning. We saw him have to get very defensive in race 1. He's had to get a bit defensive in race 2 as well, but it has paid off. Simon Zierk in 4th. Ellis Johnson has done an amazing job holding on for a top 5 this morning. He has held off everybody that has come at him. Nick Sorensen has one win this season at Le Mans. He won race 1 there several weeks ago. He heads down the backstretch the final time. Into sunset for the last time. Nick Sorensen, after a dramatic morning in a drama-filled race 1, will win race 2 at Sebring. Yannick Gunther holds on to come home in 2nd, and Mike Dowling pulls off 3rd. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with the Minister of Defense. Mike, you held on to 3rd, and you had to battle for that a bit.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of fighting and jostling in there. It was good. Did you see Wessel and I put on a masterclass of going too wide for like a lap and a half?
We saw quite a bit of that. Yes, you guys put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, that was a good time. I enjoyed that.
Well,
That was a good
man,
one.
a great finish this morning. A great morning overall. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers, Doug. Ta-da.
Yannick Gunther coming home in second. Yannick, you managed to hold on to second and avoid even more chaos this time.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. I don't actually know how I got from 7th to 3rd. That just kind of happened. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good race.
It definitely looked like a workout at some points. Things got spicy.
Yes. At the beginning with Mike, it was really fun. I think I bumped him off a little bit, but he bumped me before, so that's racing.
Well, great job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Nick Sorensen. Nick, congratulations, man. After race 1, that had to feel great.
It's been a long time since I've won race number 2, so yes, it does feel awesome.
Race 1 was filled with drama, and yeah, race 2 almost had a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's just great racing there in the first heat. Yeah, sorry we got caught up there towards the end, but I had a good chance to win them both. But no, I got on the pole for the second one and was able to hold off a couple chargers there at the beginning and then just cruise home, take the win.
Well, thankfully, we did get track security to move everybody back moments before the 3 Fords got together, so that worked too. No,
Well, we almost tried to cause something there, but I was glad it held together the whole race. So,
oh man, great job and a great finish and a great comeback. Congrats, buddy.
thanks, Doug.
Man, what a morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget, SMRX Series is back tonight. The playoffs continue. It's an elimination night, I do believe. So that race at Phoenix is going to be wild. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.